It's impossible for you to speak 9 languages. You are nothing but a useless black woman who can't even speak proper English, sneered Judge Harrison, a mocking smile playing on his lips as he addressed the young black woman who stood handcuffed before him. What he didn't know was that her single response would make him regret his words in mere seconds. But there would be no turning back. Another one, the judge muttered, flipping through the black woman's file. Theft, assault, resisting arrest. Always the same story. He sat like a weary king behind his bench, glasses low on his nose, disdain in his tone. No one dared to correct him, nor did anyone seem to care. Alara Vance, 23, stood before him, wrists shackled, wearing a beige detainee uniform that hung like a deliberate humiliation. The red number on her chest looked more like a brand than an ID. She didn't blink, but inside burned a storm. "What is your name?" the judge asked. "Alara Vance," she said, steady and calm. "Ah, yes. How exotic," he mocked. The prosecutor's laugh echoed, sharp and cruel. Alara stayed silent. "I'm sure you did nothing wrong," the judge added. Another victim of police brutality? But this didn't start here. 2 days earlier, at 8:47 p.m., Alara had been leaving her job at the public library in New Haven, Connecticut, listening to a German podcast. 2 officers stood smoking on the corner. One blocked her path. "Hey, black girl, what are you doing here?" "Going home," she said. "Home? Where? Whose?" One grabbed her arm. The other demanded papers. When she questioned why, their tone shifted. They shoved her, twisted her wrists, called her an arrogant black bitch, and threw her down. Then came the false report. Assaulting officers, resisting arrest. No weaknesses, no cameras. Just their word. And now she was here. Not for what she did, but for who she was. The judge tossed the file aside. "Are you going to speak? Or should I translate your jungle dialect?" he sneered. The prosecutor smirked. Alara took a slow breath, fists trembling. She didn't cry. She didn't lower her eyes. "Your Honor," she began, "I did not assault anyone. I was walking home when they stopped me, pushed me, insulted me. Enough," the judge roared. "No one believes you." Alara pressed on, desperate. "Check the street cameras. There's one right there." Silence. His voice thundered. "This isn't your neighborhood." "They didn't even give me a lawyer," she whispered. "You have one," he snapped, pointing to a public defender sitting silently in the corner, file closed. "She hasn't spoken to me," Alara said. "She knows nothing. You don't need one, girl. You're guilty." Alara's jaw tightened. "I'm not a criminal. I didn't steal. I didn't fight anyone." "What happened? You were born broken." The judge cut in, his tone venomous. "Another black girl pretending to be smart. You belong in jail." The courtroom fell silent. A guard looked away. The clerk shuffled papers nervously. Alara didn't move. Something inside her shifted, something unbreakable. Slowly, she raised her head. "My name is Alara Vance," she began, her voice steady. "I've worked since I was 17. No prayers." That night, I was returning from work. 2 officers stopped me, demanded my papers, shoved me, called me African trash. They threw me to the ground. And now I stand here with a false report. No lawyer, no evidence, no defense. "Are you finished?" the judge said coldly. "You speak with such certainty for someone in chains." Alara said nothing. "You think you're special?" he pressed. "You are exactly what this country doesn't need. Another arrogant young woman who ends up behind bars where black people belong." The silence was suffocating. "And what's worse," he sneered, "you can't even speak properly. Where did you learn your words? From rap songs?" Alara blinked once, a quiet decision settling in her eyes. She stepped closer to the microphone. "Would you like me to express myself in a different language, Judge?" she asked evenly. He frowned. "What? Which language would you prefer?" she said, each word precise. "I only ask because I can speak in another accent." One of the other 8. The room froze. The prosecutor stopped writing. The officer by the door went rigid. Even the public defender looked up. "What did you say?" the judge asked, his mockery gone. Alara didn't flinch. "French, Arabic, German, English, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, Wolof, Russian, pick one. Maybe in another. You'll understand me better." The air thickened. "Perhaps then," she continued, "you'll realize this isn't a trial. It's a witch hunt. A punishment for existing as a black woman without fear." The judge shifted in his seat. "Watch your tone," he warned, voice dry. "You're crossing the line." "The line of respect?" she shot back. "I was dragged through the street, denied a lawyer, insulted, and you want me to smile? You want respect? Then show me some." Her voice rose, not in panic but power. "Do not call me girl. Do not look at me as if I am less than human. Because I am not. The chains clinked as she took another step. I am the daughter of immigrants who cleaned offices so I could read in 6 languages by 15. I studied. I worked. I paid taxes. I obeyed. And still, they threw me to the ground like an animal. The judge opened his mouth, but no words came. The world will know what you've done, Alara said, because I will not be silent anymore. The courtroom felt colder now. Do you still believe I belong in jail? She asked. His fingers twitched. His eyes darted away. 9 languages, you said? He murmured, forcing a smile. Impressive. Then, mademoiselle, if you're so smart, what are you doing here? Alara's response cut like glass. I'm here because men like you can't stand the idea of a black woman being smarter than them. The English was flawless, her voice unshaken. The judge's smirk faltered, his arrogance crumbling as the silence deepened, thick and waiting, right before everything changed. Gut, dann, sag mir. Then, tell me, why do you think you're better than everyone else? The judge sneered. Alara lifted her head, her voice steady. Ich halte mich nicht für besser. Ich kämpfe nur dafür, wie ein Mensch behandelt zu werden. I do not think I'm better. I'm only fighting to be treated as a human being. The courtroom fell silent. The judge, who had mocked her moments ago, now sat speechless. The woman he dismissed as a simple black woman had spoken flawless German, and suddenly, his arrogance had nowhere to hide. The public defender looked embarrassed, the prosecutor shuffled her notes without writing, and the officers avoided Alara's gaze. The room's power shifted. Though Alara stood in shackles, everyone could see who truly stood free. The judge cleared his throat, pretending to review the file, but his trembling hands betrayed him. Are you going to continue denying me the word, Judge? Alara asked calmly. He couldn't meet her eyes. This court needs a recess, he muttered, banging the gavel weakly. Cameras captured everything. A local journalist recorded the moment Alara spoke. Within minutes, the video spread online. The caption read, Unjustly accused black woman speaks 9 languages and leaves racist judge speechless. The clip went viral. Across the world, people watched her dignity turn humiliation into justice. Though Alara's legal battle wasn't over, something fundamental had changed. 3 weeks later, the case was dismissed for inconsistencies in the officers' testimonies. The public defender was replaced. The judge took indefinite leave. On the court's website, her file read, closed due to inconclusive evidence. But Alara didn't return for closure. She didn't need their verdict. Her words had already delivered justice. The world now knew her name, Alara Vance, the woman who refused silence. When she came home, her parents held her tightly. The uniform was gone, the chains removed, but the pain lingered. That night, she sat by her window, opened her Russian notebook, and wrote, They silenced me once. They will not do it twice. She sought no fame, no spotlight. Yet her voice reached far. Months later, she received a letter from a girl in Marseille. Thank you for speaking out. I speak 5 languages too. I never dared to say so, until today. Alara closed the letter, tears falling softly. Not of anger, but of relief. Justice had begun, not in court, but in every voice her courage awakened.